Año, hello, and como estas? Welcome to Soul Food Kitchen, and today we're making budaejjigae. Bora, can you tell us a little bit about budaejjigae?
Thank you, Trey. So budaejjigae, also known as army base stew, was born shortly after Korean War when the food supply in Korea was so scarce that we have to get American ingredients like hot dogs and ham, spam from the US Army base and then mix them with our original Korean cuisine. So Korea is now one of the most developed countries, proud Korea, but even today, budaejjigae is still very, very popular among Koreans and the foreigners as well. So a few years ago, I watched TV. Our great Anthony Bourdain featured budaejjigae in his show Parts Unknown on CNN. And he said, budaejjigae seems so wrong, but tastes so right. Back to Trey.
The very first time I had this dish was in LA. My wife now, at the time my girlfriend, took me to this restaurant in LA. I could not believe that they combined Korean ingredients with American ingredients. My mind was blown. Let's start off with the main ingredients of the soup. For my particular version of budaejjigae, you're gonna start off with Korean vermicelli,
rice cake, noodle, enoki mushrooms, kimchi, shiitake mushrooms, tofu,
ground beef, pork and beans. You're gonna need American sliced cheese, spam, ramen. It does not matter what kind. We just have a lot of ramen in the house. Onion, pork belly, and the Viva la My French is Bad hot dogs. Any type of hot dogs you want. We just personally like these Vienna sausage hot dogs. If you've had it with a Beyond Meat hot dog or an LA Danger dog, drop a comment below. I would love to see how that actually tasted. Before starting budaejjigae, you want to make sure that when you're using your shiitake mushrooms and your vermicelli, your Korean vermicelli, it's a sweet potato noodle, you want to make sure that you pre-soak these first because they take about 30 minutes to pre-soak. So you're going to use, as you can see, I already started pre-soaking my vermicelli noodles, and I've also started pre-soaking my shiitake mushrooms. And remember, when you're doing shiitake mushrooms, remove the stems because the stems are unedible. For the sauce, we're gonna combine 1 tablespoon of red pepper paste, 1 tablespoon of red pepper flakes, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, along with 2 minced garlic. Now, when actually making budaejjigae, we need to start by prepping our beef for the actual stew itself. So it's just standardized ground beef, break it up a little bit like that. You're gonna use 2 cloves of minced garlic. You're also gonna use a teaspoon of sesame oil. I don't know why I can never remember that. You're also gonna use about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And it's just a little sweet taste. Now for this, you don't have to use ground beef. You could use ground turkey, ground pork. You could use any Beyond Meat part component if you want to. It doesn't have to, we just prefer it that way. You could even use sausage, like breakfast sausage if you want to. It doesn't really have to be these combined units. We're gonna start prepping our ingredients. We're gonna start with a 1/2 cup rough onions, a 1/2 loaf of firm tofu, a 1/4 cup of well-fermented kimchi, preferably, 1/2 cup of spam, thinly sliced, and a 1/4 cup of thinly sliced pork belly. Good. Next, we're actually gonna make the dish itself. You just need a shallow pan, nothing too fancy, just something like that, because it's meant like the hot pot and stuff like that. And then we're gonna combine all the ingredients that we talked about together. So let's start off with the, we're gonna use pork belly. All right, then we're gonna actually add that lovely sauce that we were working on. And for the next part, it's a bit much up to you. So, you can make the broth, you can add water, you can add chicken stock, you can add veggie stock, but we prefer to use another stock. It's basically, if you, beef bone flavored soup. You can buy a prepackaged if you want to, but I didn't buy mine prepackaged, I actually made it myself. But it's literally just boiling down beef bone for a couple of hours and till you get this white hue towards it. And I like it because it's more creamier, it's more rich version of it. And you just basically pour that on top and all around. Hopefully I don't spill because I'm notorious for spilling. And you need about 4 cups of this right here. It's like 4 cups of water, 4 cups of chicken stock, veggie stock, however you want to do it. To it right now, we're gonna add the vermicelli noodles. Just layer that bad boy on top. And we're gonna put our lid back on. And we're gonna let this cook for about 20 minutes and I'll see you then.
20 minutes later.
Now that we're closer for this actually being finished, we're just gonna give it a quick stir, just a little semi-stir to break up some of the ingredients. We're gonna add a couple more components before we put the finishing touches on it. So we're gonna add some bean sprouts all around it. Bean, 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 bean. We're also gonna add tofu. Tofu, ooh shit. Tofu, excuse my language. Tofu, 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 and tofu. We're gonna add all those. We're gonna add this all back together. Let it cook down for about 5 more minutes. Then we'll put the finishing touches, which is the ramen and the cheese, and we can eat.
5 minutes later.
Samyang ramen? I can't pronounce it. So we're gonna add the ramen. We're gonna take it, we're just gonna crack it in 2, put it on top. Then we're gonna add cheese. As I try to open up cheese. 2 slices of good old American cheese. Cheese here, shut down a little bit. I'm gonna add sliced piece of cheese. Take that piece of cheese right here. We're going to push that down a little bit. And we're pretty much done. I mean, all you're waiting through now is for the ramen to cook through, and through the power of heat, it should melt the cheese and the ramen, and we can start eating soon. So we'll put that down there and we'll eat shortly.
Aside from my soul.